Back again with another Bond review, and today we're going to talk about GoldenEye. And right off the bat, this is my favorite James Bond film. Yeah, you could say a big part of that is Pierce Brosnan. He's more of my era, my generation. But I didn't grow up a whole lot with Bond. I knew of Bond, of course. You have to mention the GoldenEye video game, which, had a lot of great memories with that. And I'm sure a lot of people in my age range do. But technically, the first Bond movie that I ever watched was The World Is Not Enough. I watched that quite a few times back in the day. This is probably around 2000, 2001. I was 12 in '01, so, that was kind of my first impression of, Bond, even though I'm probably going to have a different opinion when I revisit that movie, but 20 years later, what have you. But yeah, for some reason I would watch that quite a few times back in the day, and that was kind of my, the first Bond movie that I ever saw. It was not GoldenEye, it was The World Is Not Enough. So yeah, I didn't grow up a whole lot with Bond, but yeah, I knew of Bond. And when you get to this movie, it was great to rewatch again. And I had not seen this film in a few years. I've seen it before, but it's been some years, and it was great to revisit. GoldenEye is a great movie, directed by Martin Campbell. Prior to this, he had directed No Escape with Ray Liotta, sci-fi picture. And I like No Escape. I think it's a little bit underrated. I think it's sort of a hidden gem. And, one thing with this movie, watching it again, what I noticed is that the movie definitely has a big scale to it because of Martin Campbell. He brings a big scale to his films and has a certain spectacle that everything feels big here. And, just when the action comes up, it's top notch. Of course, Pierce Brosnan, he was a great Bond. He brought his own charm. But he also had a charisma to the role, and he's a great actor. And of course, like I mentioned in my review of The Living Daylights, how so close he was to getting that role, but he was tied up in Remington Steele, and they would bring him back for this movie. So just imagine, if we would have had Brosnan back in the day, maybe we would have had 6 Bond movies, maybe. But Timothy Dalton was a great Bond, and like I said, he brought that hard edge to the character and intensity to the role of Bond that's more akin to the novels. Brosnan, again, he brought his own charm and charisma. He had a great personality, and but yeah, and I'll get more into the cast and my thoughts and what have you, but. To go over the plot real quick, you have this deadly satellite weapon system that falls into the wrong hands, and Bond has to figure out, what happened to the satellite. So he's sent to recover this weapon called GoldenEye, and he has to investigate the identity of this crime syndicate that have stolen this weapon from a research facility. And you have our villains here. You have you have 3 villains here. You have the general. You have the, let's see if I get the character's name. Yeah, Famke Janssen's character, Xena on a top, that crushes people with her thighs, which is not a bad way to go out. Because there's a scene in the film where she's kind of a sadistic murderer by torturing her people, and she likes to crush it. Like, she crushes people with her thighs, and again, it's not a bad way to go out. And Famke Janssen's hot in this movie, but you would have her, you would have Sean Bean. Before he would play the villain in every movie, but yeah, he's 006 here. At the beginning, the pre-title scene, you would have him and 007. They have to infiltrate this facility, So you have Sean Bean here, and again the general. So Bond is trying to stop them, and like I said, retrieve the GoldenEye, and that's kind of the plot here. And but yeah, I mean, even the way Pierce Brosnan, the way he debuts, the way he drops in the bathroom stall, sorry, forgot to knock. I can't do a Brosnan impression, but great way to introduce your character, his Bond, and a fun way to again kick off the movie where they have to you have 007 and Sean Bean's character. They have to infiltrate this facility, and I'm like, hey, that's the facility from the video game, the GoldenEye game. But I don't want to talk too much about the game. Of course, everybody's played the game. But yeah, fun way, fun beginning where he, bungee jumps off the dam. Great stuff. I like the GoldenEye theme. And then, you get into the movie. Now going over the cast real quick. Again, Pierce Brosnan, he was great here. Great casting. And he is probably my favorite Bond. I don't know how I would rank the Bonds. I mean, each Bond has been great. From Sean Connery to Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton. Maybe that'll be a separate video at the end. We'll see what happens. But Pierce Brosnan, he only did 4, like I said, and I have to finish Tomorrow Never Dies. I've seen The World Is Not Enough, but I'm going to revisit that again. And Die Another Day, I've never seen, so I guess I'm in for a treat with that one, like I said before. But again, Pierce Brosnan does a great job here. Sean Bean, who would go on to be in Lord of the Rings, what have you. He's great here as 006, this character Alec, and like I said, he betrays Bond early on. Well, you find out later that he betrays Bond, and he's part of this syndicate with the other villains here. But Sean Bean, another solid actor. Now, like I said, you could say that he became the villain in a lot of things, but yeah, I mean, great support from Sean Bean. Capable actor. You would have the character of Natalia, this programmer that that works for the slab, that was attacked, and the GoldenEye was stolen, and the actress's name is Izabella. I'm gonna try to get it right. Izabella Scorupco. And again, I'm not great at pronouncing these names. I could try to pronounce these names, but I'm just not great at it. Maybe it's best if I don't try. But I liked her. I thought, she was very good support. She held her own. She wasn't whiny or anything like that. I thought she was a good support to, Pierce Brosnan. I thought they had a good chemistry. And, good actress. Again, she did fine. And I liked her in the film. You also have Famke Janssen. Again, she would go on to be in X-Men, Jean Grey, Deep Rising, and Taken, Liam Neeson. And again, she's definitely, I would say, one of the deadliest villains. And again, the way that she would crush her enemies by, trying to have sex with a person, then she would try to crush them with her thighs. Again, it's not a bad way to go out. I would love to be crushed by Famke Janssen. But again, she's deadly, but she's hot. I will admit, she's hot. And I know I'm kind of losing it here. I keep harping on that, but she was a great villain. That just shows how great of a villain she was. And yeah, she was deadly and at the same time sexy. You have Jodie Baker here. Yeah, Jodie Baker, who would be in The Living Daylights as a villain. Here he plays a contact of Bond. He's a veteran CIA officer, and yeah, he helps Bond on his mission. So you see Jodie Baker here and there throughout the movie, and that was cool. It's cool to see Jodie Baker. And in the same year, I think he did Congo. So yeah, So yeah, he did Congo the same year. You have other supporting characters. You have the character of Valentine, which I think he would. I think he's in The World Is Not Enough. I could be wrong. I think I remember that character in that movie. You have the character of Dmitri, this Russian defense minister. Again, you have the general, and he's fine. You have this character of Boris, played by Alan Cumming. Alan Cumming would go on to be in Nightcrawler and X-Men 2. And he's a programmer here, but it turns out to be an affiliate of our villains. You know, I'm invincible! You know, that guy. Which, you know, Alan Cumming was good here. You know, good character as, again, this programmer, Boris. Everyone remembers that line. The action scenes, and I'm sorry if I'm just kind of wandering off here. I'm kind of looking at my notes here. Okay, I blew that up. You gotta have notes. Notes are good. I'm just trying not to put it over here where I can sort of see it. There you go. But you know, the action scenes, again, a good setup for the movie. You know, the pre-title stuff where they're infiltrating the facility, and you know, some good gunfire there. And he bungees jumps off the not the Hoover Dam. Like, it's a dam. I forgot where it was, but it's not the Hoover Dam. But he jumps off the Hoover Dam. I said it again. It's not the Hoover Dam. See, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here a little bit. But a great sequence, you know, a great way to. And I don't know if I wonder how much of that is Pierce, but I'm sure it was a stuntman. And you get a little bit of action, you know, here and there throughout the movie. You have this one shootout in this archive building, you know, where you have 007 and the Natalia character. They're being tracked down by the general in this archive facility. And again, a lot of great gunfire and gunplay. And I like this one bit where they're on the second floor of this building, and you know, you got people from the first floor firing their weapons, and just the way that that's shot, where they're running through and the bullets are going off. It's great stuff. And then you kind of lead into, you know, the scene where 007 is in a tank and he's just wrecking shit, going through town. And I like the way that he breaks out of the wall, and you hear that Bond theme. You know, it's an energetic moment, and when the action happens, it's high octane. I mean, you know, that's the thing. That Martin Campbell, you know, I know he would go on to direct The Mask of Zorro and Vertical Limit, and I think he directed Casino Royale. I think he did. I believe he did. But like I said, he brings a big scale to the movie and spectacle that the action feels big. And yeah, I mean, he does a great job with the action. But yeah, you have this scene with the tank, you know, it's crushing everything in its sight, all the cars and what have you. And a lot of great action there. You have some stuff later on this train where, you know, Bond is captured by our villains. And yeah, some good stuff there. And then you have where Bond and the girl, they go to Cuba in the jungle, and the on-the-top villain, she's there. She knocks out Bond, but the way that her character gets it is fun because, Bond takes the cord, the helicopter's taken off, and takes the cord and wraps it around her waist or something. And then she is pulled between this, you know, tree. And he has a fun line, like, you know, she always liked the tight squeeze or something like that. I'm trying to remember the line, but it was a fun line. So you got good stuff there. Then you got a really fun, kind of leading up to the third act on the satellite, where, you know, 006, you know, Sean Bean's character is trying to stop 007. And it's just great stuff, you know, with the satellite coming out of the water. So, again, when the action happens, it's big scale. and I really enjoyed it. And yeah, it was just great action. I mean, as far as gadgets, I mean, there's a little bit here and there. I mean, you got the repelling belt, you got the grenade pin that, if you click 3 times. But so, I mean, with all that said, at the end of the day, I'm trying to think of more stuff to mention. But it's a film that a lot of people have seen at this point. But yeah, GoldenEye, it's a great Bond movie. And like I said, it's my favorite Bond film because to me, it just did a lot of things right. I mean, and it was great to great to rewatch again. It was great to revisit again because I forgot how great. It's an entertaining movie. It's an entertaining Bond movie. From the cast, everyone does their part well, and great direction from Martin Campbell, and the action is high octane and well shot. And yeah, I mean, what more can you say about this movie? GoldenEye is a classic, and it will definitely be, again, my favorite. So when I break down my top 15, what's going to be number one. So yeah, what's coming. This is my favorite, and yeah. So anyways, that's my review of GoldenEye. Thank you for watching, and next up, Tomorrow Never Dies. So stay tuned for that, and have a good day.